Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to say RIP to Marissa and Ramsay's, the relationship that was never going to work. But let's get into it all from a therapist perspective right about now. Now, I am Pastor Denise Brady, also known as a licensed marriage and family therapist. Now, if you are new here, I need you to hit that subscribe. If you are a fellow Patreon of this channel, I need you to comment, okay? Like the video, show your girl some love, because we're gonna get into all things Love is Blind. And now, okay, we start off this episode on what was a surprise breakup. For who? Because it wasn't a surprise to me. Now, Marissa, girl, we all saw the red flags. The writing was on the wall. Your mama wasn't effing with him either, okay? But you were so in love with Ramsay's, who had so many issues, didn't believe in wearing a condom, didn't respect that you were a veteran, okay? We never saw his family. We never saw his friends. All we saw was them two locks, okay? Because he was locked in with them more than you. But for some reason, you saw something in him that apparently none of us saw. Okay, but what we did see was it was never going to be I do. Okay, but because you ignored the red flags, because your bubbly spirit was just too much for him, he decided at the very last hour, I can no longer do this. Because I talked to my friends and my family about my ex-wife, and I learned that this is just too risky. Now, I didn't realize that in the pods. I didn't realize that through the interview process. I never realized that when I packed my bags. It wasn't until I was ready to walk down that aisle with you, I realized this was just too risky for me. That's what happened, y'all. Okay? In a nutshell. Now, from the beginning, they were never going to make it. Okay? And what was it about him? Was it that he was a Leo? Was it the hair? Was it the way he spoke? Was it the septum piercing? Okay? Because all along, Ramsay was never ready to get married. Okay? And some people might think, oh, she chose him because he was a Leo. I think there was more than that we, of course, did not see, because the way they split these scenes, cut them up, chop them up, and give it to us, it makes it look like she chose him just because of his astrological sign. But there was more to it. In her eyes, he had some layers, some deepness. Was it Hotep? Maybe it was some Hotepness, okay? But I feel like it was interesting because when he met her friends, the friends were side-eyeing him. And then suddenly they were into him. I was like, I can tell these friends are really not into you marrying this man, but for some reason they flip-flop, pussy-popped, and changed their minds. But your mama saw him for what he was. Now I came to preach, so I'm going to need y'all to pass that collection plate in the comments right about now. But the mama saw through him, okay? The mama said, you break my daughter's heart, I'm coming after them balls, okay? Now, do you think he still got his balls at this point? Okay? But from the fact of he doesn't want to wear a condom, birth control, she's a veteran, he was a victim, a survivor of, the America coming in, doing things to his country, it was never going to work. Okay, and I think there's so much patriarchy that got in the way, his beliefs that a woman should provide up here and down there. Okay, and the way his mood changed when she had a headache, she wasn't in the mood. What was going to happen someday when she was pregnant and she was too tired, or she decided, hey, I wanted my body, my choice. Okay, was he ever going to go for that? No. And I think sometimes the patriarchy and societal thoughts and things about women should act one way in a relationship, men should act one way, really gets in the way of people just falling in love. And that is what happened here over and over again. We saw that it was not going to work. Okay, now do I think that she would have been better off with that other guy? I'm not too quite sure either. I think that Marissa is someone who is still very young, living life, finding herself in all the wrong relationships. Okay, and it's sad that she feels like she gave her all. She was vulnerable, she was finally herself, only for this man to say, yeah, that personality is kind of good in the beginning, but can I see my lifelong partner being this bubbly, happy all the time? Nah, fam, I can't. And of course, she's like, the one time I'm really myself, it backfires. And a lot of y'all came in my comments saying that y'all feel like Marissa was annoying with her personality. I'm like, are people not allowed to be happy anymore? Is it just like in a world where people are just so tired, dark, depressed, that seeing someone be happy, bubbly, is that too much for people to accept? Because I really didn't see nothing wrong with her personality. It's nowadays you really don't see a lot of people who are just genuinely happy about life and living. Most people are dark, depressed, and having thoughts of not being here no more. So to come across somebody who is lively, bubbly, I think she needs a partner who can meet her yin and her yang, can meet her where she is, but has like a calm spirit and demeanor, but at times can be just as social. But to me, I feel like there was nothing wrong with her personality. Now, her mama, on the other hand, was not playing games. She knows and feels like marriage is not forever. I think her mom has her own trauma that at times she projects onto her daughter, Marissa, because she had a poor marriage and she was not happy. And it sounds like the man she was married to left her broke and broken. Okay? So sometimes our mothers, the things that we see them go through, how they live life, that can be mirrored into us. But this time, I felt like Marissa was actually trying to do the opposite. Maybe prove that love can be, that marriage can work, that monogamy does work. But I don't think that Ramsay is the right person to try that with. Now, did I just break a nail? Sorry, y'all. No, Ramsay's not the person to try that with. I just think she needs to live her life. Ramsay needs to figure out who he is. Because I'm not sure what he doing, how he dressed. What do we really know about him? I really feel like we didn't really learn much. And it is very pivotal in these shows that we see friends and family. They make a difference. And we saw none of that from him. We really didn't know anything about him. She was about to marry a man that I feel like, what did we really know? What did she really know? Okay. And then he would get to the scene where they're crying and, are you sure? That was hard to watch, y'all. Marissa, he ain't into you. I don't know if he ever really was. He enjoyed the sex, okay, the intimacy, the physical touch, the good times. Or was he there for the hard times? No. And when you are getting married to somebody, you want to know, are you going to be there for the hard times, the good times, the curveballs life bring at you, life, death, babies, all the things that make marriage at that time complicated and hard for the two people to remember one another. The distractions, the noise of life. And I don't think Ramsay would have been able to handle any of that. He seemed like he didn't really respect her as a person. He liked her, but he didn't respect her. I think there's a difference between liking somebody and respecting them. In a relationship, I think you need both. And they just had only one. Okay? So they broke up. Now, the camera crew, did he have a thong? Was that a thong he was wearing? I'm not quite sure. Okay? But yeah, they broke up. It was never going to be. Okay? How can you be with a man who doesn't respect your body, your choice? Okay? You're not allowed to be on birth control. We ain't using condoms. When I want it, and you're going to give it up. Because that's your job as my wife, is to give it up. Okay? Now, moving quite along to these weddings, were we surprised? No. No, I was not surprised. Okay? Now, when it comes to Tyler and Ashley, I really believe that they must have had some conversations off camera that we never saw, because notice how nobody at the wedding brought up his kids. They all played into it. Some of their friends was a bunch of BS. We never thought you was going to settle down. You got to think about when you're in a relationship with somebody, think about how their friends are, their attitudes. That's the crew you hang around? And you about to marry me? And they talking like that? I don't know if I could do it. But I really feel like they had conversations off screen that we didn't see, because ain't no way that those 3 kids did not get brought up a little bit more by some family member, something. So I'm hoping that maybe they had a conversation offline, of course, that we did not see. And she came to terms with, okay, he does have 3 kids. If not, girl, what you getting yourself into? But she is an adult woman. She's going to make her own decisions, her own choices. And the reunion will be really telling. Guessing they're still together based off my other videos. That's her man. She's going to stick beside him. She was a beautiful bride. Now, in a lot of these weddings, when we get to the weddings, the makeup, the hair, we see them getting it done. But by the time it's time to walk down that aisle, melted face, no curls, but she looked very beautiful. The relationship that she has with her dad is very interesting because I feel like her dad has probably been in them streets too, did her mama wrong. And maybe because of the things that she saw growing up and her mom putting up with stuff, she's putting up with stuff with Tyler. Or maybe it is something in him that some people don't see. Maybe it's beyond the scandalous, the threesomes, the donations. Maybe there's something more to him that we just don't see. But can you really get over someone having the foundation of your relationship be a lie? Seems like Ashley can. Okay, I'm curious to see at that reunion what's really going to happen. But I just thought it was very interesting how nobody at the wedding brought the children, his friends. It's like, did you tell them, hey, don't bring up them kids now. If you want this check, show up, put your clothes on, keep your mouth shut, okay? Even when he's having conversation with his friends, so when y'all gonna have some babies? Yeah, Ashley wants to have a child in like 1 year. I'm like, y'all really all rolling with this lie. What does it say about the people around him too who are keeping the secret during this scene? Because we all know it all came out this year. At this point, they've been together a year, okay? But the friends and family also going along with it. Says a lot, okay? What do y'all think? Now, the beautiful little black ballerinas, I love that. The wedding itself was very beautiful. It's just hard to see it for a beautiful wedding at times when you know what's beneath that. Lies, deceit, child support, loans, a baby mama, domestic violence, court orders, okay? But the wedding itself was pretty amazing. It was a very beautiful wedding, one of the more beautiful ones than we have seen in the past. The weather seemed great. So, but them lies though, okay? Now moving on to Taylor and Garrett, we all knew that they were going to get married. Okay, I think it's interesting that both sides of the family, his parents and her parents were both married on the 13th. That indicates a lot. I think that they're still together. It was a beautiful wedding. I kind of feel like Taylor's dress was a little bit boring, but it had a classy effect. It was very Taylor, okay? But yeah, the weddings were amazing. I think Taylor and Garrett are still together. I think Ashley and Tyler are still married. Sorry, Marissa, he was never going to do it for you. But because you wanted it to work so bad, I think she looked past the red flags. Sometimes women really want things to work that it's not going to work. And you have to learn to look at what you see are red flags. Don't look past them. Don't let the sex distract you. Don't let the good times distract you from seeing the red flags and dismissing yourself before you get hurt. Now, I know a lot of people on here want the money, the check, the fame, and that's why some of these relationships probably lasted as long as they should, longer than what they really needed to. But in the end, there were a lot of people this season who had a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt that they brought into this show. We need more therapy sessions, more background checks, talking to their friends, their family, okay? Somebody from the cast, let us know, how do y'all really do these casting these casting background things? We know y'all look on LinkedIn, look who's popular in these cities. A lot of these people who get on the show are not actually applying, at least men-wise are not applying. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think about these weddings? What do you think about Ashley and Tyler? Garrett and Taylor, not much there. Marissa and Ramsay's, it was doomed from the beginning. But once again, let me know your thoughts. Leave me some supers. Help me on the channel. Let me know you love me, okay? And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.